Hello, I'm Michael Mikowski, President and CEO of the Jewish Institute for National Security of America, JINSA. Thank you all for joining us. The pandemic has prevented us from conducting our annual awards dinner in person as we have done for the previous 37 years. However, we believed it very important to continue what we consider has been the heart and soul of that awards dinner for the previous 17 years, which is providing an award and honoring 6 outstanding young servicemen and women from the United States military, one from each major service. We are especially grateful to these soldiers and all our armed services this year as they continue to execute their challenging missions around the world amid a global pandemic. This award and this honoring ceremony was the brainchild of retired Major General Sid Shachnow. And after Sid passed away, unfortunately, 2 years ago, we have named the award after him. I would like to thank all our sponsors who have made this presentation possible, and I would like to thank everybody who makes JINSA possible year-round. And that includes our donors, the many retired American generals and admirals who are involved in different facets of our organization, the civilian experts, our hardworking staff, and our board of directors. JINSA is a hybrid organization dedicated to military and defense education programs and policy work. Our mission is to advance a strong U.S. military and national security posture, which we believe is the best guarantor of peace and the survival of our civilization, and a strong U.S.-Israel security relationship, which is vital to American values and security. Please watch for the next very brief few minutes this video, which talks a little bit more about what JINSA is and what JINSA does. I think it's always a challenge in the United States to educate the American public and policymakers about the importance of staying engaged in the world. JINSA is dedicated to educating civilian and military decision makers in the United States about the importance of a strong U.S. national security. The cornerstone of a strong U.S. national security and defense posture is a strong U.S.-Israel security relationship.
We do what's good for the national security of the country.
One of the unique programs at JINSA is what we call our Generals and Admirals program.
It gives us the opportunity to bring some of our retired senior military people here who are able to explain to their counterparts the importance of Israel to our national security and defense.
It helps to be able to experience it firsthand and then share those stories.
The access was just phenomenal.
We talked to the Prime Minister of Israel. It just really showed me how much Israel and the United States are very similar.
JINSA also takes retired U.S. generals and admirals to other countries, such as Jordan, Egypt, Greece, where we meet leaders in these countries to expand their and our knowledge of the region. The purpose is to further their education about their region and to engage them subsequently in important policy work. JINSA also has a Homeland Security program where we take senior U.S. law enforcement officers from the FBI and chiefs of police from large U.S. cities from across the country. We bring them to Israel where they learn Israeli counterterrorism methods.
Every year we've taken senior American law enforcement officials to Israel to help them get an understanding of how the Israelis, who are very, very experienced in counterterrorism, do that and learn those lessons and bring them home.
A new educational initiative that we have at JINSA is our U.S. Military Leadership Program. We bring rising and senior U.S. military officers to Israel, all of whom are on the trajectory of becoming admirals and generals. The organization for a long time has focused about educating Americans about the Middle East, but it also dawned on us that it's important to educate the Middle East about America. We started bringing IDF, Israeli military, rising officers to the United States.
This is a great program to bring young IDF officers to try to understand America beyond the military.
Exposing them to American politics and politicians, it'll help them as they rise in the ranks, and it helps Americans too.
JINSA is a unique organization in Washington in that we offer both education programs and policy efforts. Our Gemunder Center for Defense and Strategy houses scholars and policy projects on Iran, the Eastern Mediterranean,
Hezbollah and other pressing U.S. national security issues in the Middle East.
JINSA brings together policy experts like myself to help formulate recommendations for U.S. policy.
Your scholars develop forward-looking policy recommendations to defend our nation and support allies like Israel, our key partner in the Middle East.
Mike is kind of a go-to guy on a lot of the things that deal with enhancing the relationship between the United States and Israel.
Without us having the intellectual ammunition, without us having those generals and those admirals supplied by JINSA, we wouldn't have that full force of support behind these positions.
Should Congress approve this deal or not?
The JCPOA will make the United States and its allies less secure and military confrontation with Iran and its proxies more likely.
The job of JINSA is to get the truth out. JINSA has a reputation of telling it like it is.
With your support, JINSA can continue its vital missions, such as building relationships with U.S. military and law enforcement officials, educating senior officials, and working to ensure a robust U.S.-Israel security relationship.
Israel is everything we want the entire Middle East to look like going forward. It is democratic and prosperous. It desires peace, and it is a home to a free press and a thriving free market economy.
During our dangerous times, we must ensure that the United States remains not only the greatest country in the world, but also the strongest.
A very important part of JINSA and our future will remain helping our men and women in uniform in need, engaging retired generals and admirals in national security issues so the country could benefit everything from what they've learned.
Hi, I'm David Rodriguez, retired U.S. Army General and former Commander of United States Africa Command. JINSA is an amazing organization doing great work in support of a strong U.S. national security posture, and I appreciate their dedication in honoring these servicemen and women who work tirelessly to uphold our values and keep us safe. My wife Ginny and I got involved with JINSA after we went to Israel with JINSA on their 2018 Generals and Admirals program trip. I currently serve on JINSA's Board of Advisors and various Gemunder Center policy projects. I'm honored to present this year's Major General Sid Shachnow Grateful Nation Award to these fine service members. Starting with a service I spent 40 years with representing the United States Army, Captain Jared D. Friedman. Captain Friedman distinguished himself through outstanding achievement while serving as the J6 Communication Officer in charge for a joint task force in support of Operation Freedom Sentinel. He advanced policy to improve the Ranger Regiment's next generation tactical network, which was the first to utilize aerial intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance to provide information to ground force operators without increasing their operational load. I'd like to present to you Captain Jared Friedman.
Hello. My name is Captain Jared Friedman, and I'm currently serving in 1st Battalion, 75th Ranger Regiment in Savannah, Georgia. Becoming an Army Ranger and being able to support operations critical to our national security is one of my proudest accomplishments. I'm honored to receive this award, not only because it recognizes my contributions to our country, but also because of the legacy of Major General Sidney Shachnow. His story resonates with me, as my grandfather was also a Holocaust survivor who, after the war, came to the United States and lived the American dream. As I continue through my Army career, I hope to one day become half the leader of General Shachnow.
Representing the United States Marine Corps, Gunnery Sergeant Jamal L. Harris. Gunnery Sergeant Harris distinguished himself through superior service in support of the global war on terrorism. His deployments throughout his Marine Corps career have supported operations Enduring Freedom, Iraqi Freedom, United Assistance, Iraqi Freedom National Resolution, and Inherent Resolve. He remains one of the most deployed Marines currently on active duty.
Hello, I am Gunnery Sergeant Jamal Harris of Cleveland, Ohio, currently stationed at Marine Corps Air Station Miramar with Marine Medium Tilt Rotor Squadron 163, Marine Aircraft Group 16, 3rd Marine Aircraft Wing. I am extremely honored to be awarded the JINSA Grateful Nation Award. I am thankful for the recognition for my service because I am very sure each nominee was capable, if not more, of winning this award. I would like to thank all current and past leaders, along with my family, for the support needed to achieve this award. Thank you.
Representing the United States Navy, Petty Officer First Class Andrew J. McCloat. Petty Officer First Class McCloat is being recognized for his professional achievement as a forward deployed detachment leading petty officer and airborne special operator. He completed an arduous 213-day deployment to the Commander U.S. 5th Fleet Area of Responsibility during the COVID-19 pandemic, where he expertly utilized onboard mission systems to intercept and exploit critical intelligence, which resulted in identification of a high priority person of interest and new adversarial technologies, earning him praise from the Chief of Naval Operations and the Commander of 10th Fleet.
Hello, I'm Petty Officer Andrew James McCloat. I'm stationed at Niagara Whidbey Island in Washington on aircrew orders, but I'm currently deployed to Bahrain. Being part of the aircrew community as a cryptologist is one of my proudest achievements. I work with some extraordinary people and I'm constantly learning. It's an honor and a wonderful surprise to receive this award. I don't think anyone does their job thinking, I hope this wins me something, but it sure is nice to be recognized for hard work. After being notified of my selection, reviewing the bio that was submitted and seeing all my accomplishments listed out, I even surprised myself. Thank you for this great honor.
Representing the United States Coast Guard, Senior Chief Kenneth G. Kimball. Senior Chief Kimball displayed exceptional service during deployment and support of Operations Iraqi Freedom and Enduring Freedom as the Senior Enlisted Advisor for the crew and enlisted programs officer of the U.S. Coast Guard cutter Aquidneck. During deployment, he restored the cutter to mission-capable enabling operations in the North Arabian Gulf in support of maritime security operations and the defense of Iraq's offshore oil infrastructure.
Hello, I'm Senior Chief Kenneth Kimball with the United States Coast Guard. I'm currently stationed at Coast Guard Sector Long Island Sound in New Haven, Connecticut. With more than 26 years of service, I've been lucky enough to take part in many great operations. But the one thing I'm most proud of is being part of a team that continues to put fellow service members' needs in front of their own. Being named the Coast Guard's 2020 JINSA Grateful Nation Award recipient is such an honor, and it recognizes the efforts of so many people over the years. I'm truly humbled. Thank you.
Representing the United States Air Force, Senior Master Sergeant Manuel J. Herrera. Senior Master Sergeant Herrera is described as a Spartan-like leader and is an expert on explosive ordnance disposal techniques in the United States Air Force. The work of the EOD teams is among the most dangerous and difficult of any in the U.S. military. In support of Special Operations Task Forces, he led more than 300 missions to remove or defuse explosive devices, to include personally rendering safe 21 devices. He was routinely called upon to secure an area after an attack so that wounded soldiers and civilians could be provided life-saving medical attention. Senior Master Sergeant Herrera's efforts saved countless lives, not only American service members, but partner military and indigenous civilians as well.
Hello and good evening.
I am Senior Master Sergeant Manuel Herrera. I am a proud airman that has been serving our nation at home and abroad for over 23 years. I am also a husband and a father to two wonderful human beings, Jolene and Ava. I am currently serving at Kadena Air Base, the hub of air power in the Pacific. I am part of a hardworking, innovative, and tenacious team that protects American interests, our Japanese allies, and is ready to project combat air power on a moment's notice. Being here at Kadena has been an incredible experience. Being part of an organization that creates powerful and capable teams is what drives me on a daily basis. Receiving the Grateful Nation Award is a humbling experience. I know all the service members that went through the selection process are worthy of this distinction, and because of that, I am extremely honored. Thank you.
Representing the United States Special Operations Command, Technical Sergeant Zachary W. Sherwood, U.S. Air Force. Technical Sergeant Sherwood distinguished himself by outstanding achievement when he deployed to Afghanistan as the lead Joint Terminal Attack Controller, where he controlled 230 hours of close air support and airlift assets during 29 high-risk raids in support of Operation Freedom Sentinel. He also directed 23 air-to-ground engagements that resulted in 38 enemy fighters killed in action and controlled 4 helicopter medical evacuations under heavy enemy contact, saving the lives of 5 United States and Afghan soldiers.
I'm Technical Sergeant Zachary Sherwood, representing U.S. Special Operations Command. I'm a Joint Terminal Attack Controller with the 17th Special Tactics Squadron, providing precision strike capabilities to the 75th Ranger Regiment. Of my 10 years of service, my proudest accomplishment won't be found on a citation, and that's my family, who has been the largest support group. None of my other successes could be achieved without them. I am also grateful for my brothers and sisters in uniform. Nowhere else in the military are you surrounded by such high caliber people who daily achieve greatness in order to accomplish the mission. Receiving JINSA's Grateful Nation Award is a testament not only to my achievements, but to our team. Thank you for your dedication to recognize our service members.
I would like to thank each of these brave men in uniform for their service to our nation. It gives me great confidence to know that this is the future of America. If you would like to know more about each of these incredible individuals, please visit JINSA's website. I'm now going to pass the floor to JINSA's chairman, David Steinman, for closing remarks. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. Please forgive my informal attire. I'm trapped on a small Hawaiian island where this is actually considered formal. I'm David Steinman, JINSA's chairman, and we are a unique organization with a profoundly influential policy voice and a programmatic side which is completely unique. After 40 years with JINSA, I can tell you there's no other organization anywhere with the importance and influence which we bring to bear on our own national security and defense, the U.S.-Israel strategic relationship, and defense and security issues throughout the Middle East and the Eastern Mediterranean. On a personal level, in a very small way, my involvement here helps to support our men and women who wear our country's uniforms. If you're looking for an organization which does that, JINSA is your organization. Sid was born in Kovna, Lithuania. As a young child, was thrown into a concentration camp with all of the city's Jews. Almost all of them died there. It's a long road from there to being the commanding general of Army Special Forces and of the John F. Kennedy Special Warfare Center. But suffice to say that Sid enlisted in 1955 as an infantry private and retired as a major general in 1995. I first met Sid when I traveled to Israel with him and a dozen other flag and general officers. We became fast friends. In many ways, he became my teacher and mentor, in the same way that he was for all the soldiers with whom he served and commanded. The original Grateful Nation Awards were conceived of as honoring senior military officers, but Sid patiently explained to us, as our primary advisor, that if you had stars on your shoulders, you had enough honors and trophies. And the people we should be focused on were the young men and women wearing our country's uniforms. So we followed General Shachnow's advice, which brings us tonight to our Grateful Nation awardees. Sid left us 2 years ago, but I think I can safely say that if he was here tonight, he would look each of you in the eye, tell you he is proud of you, and pat you on the back. He always said that wearing his country's uniform was one of the things that gave him meaning in life. I hope it does the same for you. And I'll finish by saying you have all of JINSA's and my own thanks and gratefulness for what you do for our country. You make us all proud to be Americans.